3, 2, 1. Alright guys, welcome back to all of my 30 subscribers. This is my first video, actual video. It's not the intro video. I'm gonna start slow and see exactly how this thing works, if I'm even gonna continue with it, and you know, see exactly what there is to talk about so as to not bore everyone and to not, like, you know, lose all of my 30 subscribers. So that's a good start. But for this first video, I want to just take it slow and start talking about something that's pretty easy to talk about, and that is what I'm doing with my life right now, in specifically music school. I started music school about a month ago now, I'd say, yeah, a month ago. And it's been a good experience. I'm going to a music school in Berlin, here in Berlin, in the middle of the city. It's called BIMM, for short. It stands for British and Irish Modern Music Institute. I think I got that right. And it's relatively new school. It started 3 years ago. I remember going to the opening day back when I was in 10th grade. It was lit. And yeah, I'm doing a production course there in music production. There is a choice of tons of different things you can do there: songwriting, creative musicianship, drums, bass, guitar, vocals, a lot of vocals, and music production. Those are pretty much all the ones that I know of. And music business. Music business is good too. And I would have to decide. They all sounded really good, but between songwriting and production, I chose production because songwriting is something that you can kind of learn yourself. Production is something that I feel is more, you need someone else to learn it. Yeah, I just want to talk about, like, getting into music school, exactly how it feels for others who are, you know, thinking about it or wondering how it is. Let's just talk about how I was feeling before I went into the music school. I applied in the middle of the year before, so in January 2017, this year. I applied, I just went over. It was actually later, I don't really remember, but I applied late. I remember it was past the deadline, and my mom urged me to go over there and check out if I can still apply, and they somehow let me do it. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it because music school sounds so like bad. Like it sounds like, you know, usually people are like, oh, I'm going to the music school. It's like, well, you're not gonna learn anything. You're gonna just become, you know, a music artist and just die poor on the street. You know, whatever. I went in and I had my audition. I was really scared. I didn't know what to think, what was gonna happen. They said bring 4 pieces of music that you produced, and there was not really much more of a guideline. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I just took 4 of my pieces that I thought was best at the time. I don't even remember which 4 they were, but yeah, I brought them to the main campus, and they sat me down in a room. Thing is, actually, right before I was gonna go to the audition, I lost my USB stick, like the hour before. So I was like, what the hell? I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. So I uploaded all my songs onto Google Drive. And then when I was there, I asked him if it's okay to use Google Drive, and he was like, whatever. He listened to my music. He judged it. It was a room with me and him. He was just listening to it. I could hear it through his headphones. And I was hearing all the mistakes I made in the production. I was like, fuck, I suck. It actually didn't go that bad. He interviewed me about the tracks afterwards, or like after he listened to each one and what I got my inspirations from. And he was pretty genuinely impressed. And also he noticed some mistakes. Otherwise, like, it was really cool. And afterwards I felt really good because I knew that I was getting in, because like he was like, yeah, you know what, totally, like, you're in. And I was like, damn, well, now I'm gonna start a music production course. And yeah, that's pretty much how I was feeling before. You know, if you're feeling that you have some sort of talent in music or something and you really are secure in it, then don't think it's bad to go to music school. I think it's totally a good thing. Just make sure you learn something that is, you know, practical in a sense. I didn't feel like some of the other subjects are very practical, which is why I didn't take them. But production is something that you can still make money with. I mean, you don't really need it. being a production engineer is something that you can do in a lot of fields, not just music. You can also do it in, you know, engineering fields and stuff like that. The best thing is just to go for it. Don't be scared like me, even though I also still did go for it. But before, I was feeling kind of like, I want to go to like a different big university because like I want to have that on my resume. But it's all about the quality of what they teach there and not about the name. I mean, of course it is about the name, but I feel like it's more important for you to actually learn what you're learning. Oof, oh boy, I'm already on 6 minutes. But yeah, I guess I can just cut this into like a single video about, you know, getting into music and why it is actually a good thing to study. So I'm gonna title this video, Why You Should Study Music. There we go. I found it. I'm making the video while I'm recording it. Good way to start. Basically, this goes for any artistic subject. I think it's not just music. What I could take from this is that, you know, you gotta do what you think is right. And that sounds really like fucking cliche and shit, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it because I think it's true. If you feel like something is more useful and you really enjoy it and you can think of ways to apply it in a business context where you can make money with it, definitely go for it, especially if you're younger, because if it fucks up, you still have time to, you know, reorganize and reschedule. While if you don't go for it and then you get older and you become mediocre, that's kind of depressing, but you know what I mean. And you always dream about what you could have been. That's worse than if you fucked up in the start and then you changed and then, you know, you got satisfied because you tried it and you failed. The biggest problem with my music school when I was going in psychologically was the requirements of the school, because they required academically what we have here in Berlin, Abi-Durchschnitt of 4.0, which is basically anything that's not failing, which makes me feel like all the work and hard work, sweat and tears I put into school was wasted, because I was pretty proud of my academic achievement, and to see that like I could have gotten to the school with not giving a single shit is kind of psychologically like, like I want to go for the best of the best. But I mean, so far the school has been so nice. I'll leave it for a different video because it's getting too long, but they have, you know, had hands-on stuff there that you would not ever find in a fucking, like, classroom setting of, like, I don't know, any other normal big university that I'd be considering. They're really hands-on and they're really personal. Especially being a smaller school here in Berlin. We have a class that I really love that's in a studio, an actual studio that's being led by a producer named Pete Smith, who is actually he won a Grammy and he's fucking teaching us, and we're in a class of 7 people and he like knows us by name, and like he's a really funny dude and he's really cool, and he really gives very personal advice, and it feels like he's handing down like a legendary art. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like to think that this like Grammy nominated dude that like worked with fucking everyone, Stevie Wonder, the Police, and fucking the Rod Temperton, like the guy who wrote Michael Jackson's music on the like first 2 albums, and like Quincy Jones and shit like that. Like, he worked with these like people. I'd listen to the music of the people that he worked with while I was walking into that studio, only to find out later that he knows fucking George Massenburg, who produced like all of Earth, Wind and Fire's fucking albums. Like, what the fuck? He knows these people. I don't understand. But enough of that. Like, that's like a class that I love, and you know, we also have other classes like acoustics, like, which is really cool because that's a very physical subject. I love physics, and I was sad that I was ditching it when I was going to music school, but voila, we have physics in music school, so all is good. We're learning, you know, acoustics and all that kind of stuff, which is exactly what I want to be learning in physics. And we're going to learn later on how to treat a room acoustically and how sound travels, propagates formulas, E equals MC squared. That's not an audio formula. Audio class is really cool. We're learning really technical stuff, albeit not really that mathematics based, but it's okay. I mean, it's still very physics based. It's very engineering based. Like there's a lot of electrical engineering, voltages and shit like that. It's really cool. But end of the story is, if lots of times you just gotta really do your research into it. I've been looking into the school for 3 years, so I knew exactly what I was getting. And if you're sure of it, go for it. Don't let your artistic, stuff be hindered by the thoughts of, oh, I have to be safe. Lots of times we as humans want to have that necessity of like safety. We want to feel safe, like fucking Maslow and all that shit. But it's always nice to take a risk, and I took a risk, and it fully exceeded my expectations so far. I'm only on week 5, so everything could change. For all I know, we could go to shit, but I doubt it. Everything seems to be so fucking cool. That's basically my video on or my vlog on what I'm doing right now, or basically getting into a school that has a focus on the arts. And I'll make another video, I guess, about it later on, part 2, something like that, about what exactly is going on in this school, so you can get an idea of what goes on in these types of music schools, in case you're deciding on going on a music school, an art school, or something like that. And what to look out for, especially what to look out for in schools, because I heard a lot from my classmates that talk about schools that they went to before, that they went into a classroom and they learned very impersonal stuff, and they got out and felt like they learned nothing and we're back at step 1. So that's not what you want to do too. But I'll leave that for another time. For now, I'll end this video because it is way over time and I have to edit all this, so cool. I'll see you guys later. If you stuck with me through the whole video, then props. Comment. Put it in the comments that you want the whole video, and I will, I don't know, make a beat for you for free. Yeah. See you guys.